Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for 2026. This is actually going to be the main theme of 2026 for you. I am going to do deeper readings for 2026 soon. You have this Fiery Beginnings card. It says, you're on the brink of a real breakthrough. Follow your heart and live your passion. You have this Web of Creation card. It says, be aware of what you're weaving in your life to create better experiences. I mean, two things that came up quite a bit during 2025. You had spiders all up in your business during 2025. You had the following your heart also, and also the Ten of Pentacles. You had quite a bit in your readings for 2025. So the themes are probably continuing, which does make a lot of sense. One thing I will say for Taurus is that, Pluto is squaring your sign, and basically, and a lot of people say, how can a planet square a sign? Well, it's pretty freaking simple. Your sun, when you're born, your natal sun, you have Pluto creating a square to your natal sun. So is it going to be exact for all of you right now? No. As a matter of fact, the Pluto square, it affects Deacon 1 until like 2028 or somewhere around there. So, Deacon 1 is the first 10 days of Taurus, and then, in the years after, it'll, move to Deacon 2 and then Deacon 3, right? I think what you need to do here, Taurus, for, with this Pluto power, because Pluto is where you get your power, is kind of like defending your beliefs, defending your heart, right? And you're not defending your beliefs from anyone except for yourself, right? And we'll definitely talk about it during this reading. You have the Page of Cups. This first card, my intention for these readings, this Celtic cross-style reading, is that the first card would represent the main theme of your year, 2026. Like I said, I'm going to be doing deep 2026 readings soon. And the Page of Cups could, of course, be love. Now, you do have a lot of love cards here, but again, that was not the intention for these readings. It could be part of the theme for sure. Could be a supporting element as well, because you have the Two of Cups coming up in your future feelings. And just, not to skip too far ahead here, but intuitively, I feel like that Two of Cups is like something that is really going to support you or support your vision or support what you're working on just in general. He has this fish in the cup, which I think is more important for you, Taurus. That fish could be his dream, something that he's dreaming of or something that he wants to create. I think it's no mistake that you have the Ten of Pentacles in your foundation position right here. The Page of Cups, he has to bring that fish down to earth. He has to build a solid foundation, under that goal or that dream or whatever he has. So it seems to me like you are, focused on a goal or dream. Again, because you're born so close to Aries, with Saturn and Neptune moving back into Aries, I'm going to probably say this to a lot of people because it's really true for everyone because, both planets are moving into Aries, but focusing on one thing at a time and, finishing it is really the trick with Saturn and Aries. There's a couple of tricks with Saturn, especially in Aries, but, I think the important one is, if you have something that you want to accomplish, you have to really see it through to the end and you can't give up. I'm also getting a message of like anchoring something in reality. And, that could be a big theme for you is that you're making something real. And that's exactly what the Page of Cups needs to do. Some people say this is his pet. Some people say it's a fish he caught. Some people like me say that fish might be part of his imagination because it's a cup card. And so that fish might not exist. And I feel like that's really should be your main goal for 2026 is how can you make something real even if it's not real? And I know that's like a little bit of a mind effort for you, Taurus, but it's like I think people need to realize that we've had Neptune and Pisces for a long time. And so it's like you don't have to have the thing that you really want to have it. And again, I know that sounds crazy, but it's like if you wanted to own a Ferrari, I don't know, I've been on a Ferrari kick lately. I actually don't like Ferraris. I prefer Lambos, but, whatever. And, what I would say is there are like experiences where you can go pay like $200 and drive a Ferrari, right? And, it's like, if you do that, you are putting yourself in the energy of what you want. And I'm not saying this is a card. It's the only thing I can think of right now. So that's why we're using it as an example. It's like, what is the smallest thing you can do to anchor a dream in reality? And I don't know. You're going to have to do your research, but I would go mess around with it. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is like fulfillment or wish fulfillment. Again, you're not bathing in the energy of what you want, right? The Nine of Cups, it's crossing. the crossing energy is what hurts you or helps you, but the Nine of Cups wants you to play pretend. Children are really good at this, right? It's like children, they'll play pretend with anything, really, and they'll act as if they have something, but we lose that as we get older. And I feel like that's what this reading is saying. It's like to anchor something in reality this year, 2026, whatever it is you want. It's like, yeah, maybe you do have to play pretend, and it's like, how is that a bad thing as well, Taurus? I think this would be a good thing. I think it's like, yeah, it might be a little bit unrealistic, but I think if you really get into that feeling place, then things will probably go very well, and you'll probably be surprised at how quickly you can anchor this thing in your life. You have the Hangman coming up in the area of what's on your mind. Yeah, very intuitive time this year, especially like the first part of the year, although I think the whole year is extra intuitive compared to other years. But, I would say that the High Priestess coming up in the area of what's on your mind is kind of thinking about your intuition. She would also represent expansive thinking. She has no roof over her head, and the High Priestess kind of represents unlimited potential. There are no limits to what she can accomplish. The only limit is what's going on in her head. So I feel that for a lot of you, kind of realizing that even if you are playing pretend for a little bit of time, that actually you'll be able to have something much quicker. Again, you have that Web of Creation card. It says, be aware of what you're weaving in your life to create better experiences. You always get these spider cards with me this year, 2025, and probably will continue into 2026. And, what I would say is you need to tell yourself, the story of what you want, and that's what I would do there. Probably the most important thing here is the Ten of Pentacles coming up in your foundation, literally your anchor position of the reading. So it's like you are anchoring something in reality, or you need to. You've been getting this card with me all 2025 as well. It makes sense because Uranus has been in Taurus. Uranus did go into Gemini, then it retrograded back into Taurus, and it will be in Taurus until like April, pretty much around your birthday time next year, 2026. Which is the year this reading is for, of course, but, I think a lot of you have been, this energy has really kind of caused you to focus on true stability, true freedom, building, leaving a legacy, all the things we talk about. I feel like this needs to be, like, connected to your heart. Remember, at the beginning of the reading, I said that you're defending your beliefs, but for your, against yourself. I think that with the Nine of Cups as your crossing energy, I wouldn't say that you are your own worst enemy. That's not what I want to say here, Taurus, but, it's like I feel like the only person you have to defend your beliefs to is yourself. It's like, because Pluto's squaring your sign, I think that the power is coming from you, and if you want something, I feel the only person you have to convince is yourself, is what the Ten of Pentacles and, pretty much everything is saying that here in this reading, and that's really what I would work on. Again, I feel, like I said with that Page of Cups, that doing things that anchor something in reality or make something a reality, even if it's not actually the thing that you want, if it's close, that will help you the most with, not only right now, I would start now, even if you're watching this at the end of 2025, when I'm publishing this, I would start now. Next, in your past position, you have this step out of comfort zones and this show the world the real you, which is basically what we've been saying. So I feel a lot of you could be doing this. It's pretty good that these two cards are coming up in the past, because I feel like they're both saying that you are doing these things. You are, doing things to bring things into this reality. You are showing the world the real you. You get a lot of comfort zone stuff. As a matter of fact, most of the fixed signs get these cards of needing to leave comfort zones. But I like that it's coming up in the past because, it pretty much could be saying that you are leaving comfort zones. You are stepping out of a comfort zone, or you already have. And that could be leading to a lot of benefits. Next, you have the Chariot also in your past position. The Chariot is about setting yourself apart, and again, this probably says that you already have done something to set yourself apart. The city behind him is kind of like a little bit of a comfort zone. He grew up in that city. He knows that city. Everything is the same in that city behind him, but he is choosing to leave so that he can go find something else that he wants in life. He's setting himself apart. It's kind of like the secret sauce for everyone right now is to set yourself apart. I say it to pretty much every single sign. It comes up for every single sign, right? Everybody gets like the Chariot or the Three of Wands or the Two of Wands in their readings. People keep leaving me comments saying, you say this to every single sign. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Do you want me to make something up that and not deliver a message to every single sign that everyone is getting? I don't know what you want me to tell you, right? So if you don't like it, too freaking bad. Take it up with God, as I say, right? But, for the rest of you, again, obviously, we have to set ourselves apart right now. Next, in the area of what's coming, I'm at a loss today. In the area of your very near future, this position, you have this Loyal Heart card and this Fork in the Road card. Yeah, if you want love, there's definitely a little bit of love here. Again, we're going to look deeper at this in the next 2026 readings that I'm going to be doing soon. So again, we're going to go in depth into these things. But, what I would say here is there could be a strong connection. The Fork in the Road card is like having a choice. Like I said, I think the trick for Taurus is definitely like one decision at a time. So if you're making a choice, it's like you have to make that choice, whatever it is, and you have to see it through to the end. Then you can make the next decision that you're going to make, right? And doing that will lead to success a lot faster. I kind of feel like saying there's nothing for you on things that you've already done. And so the Fork in the Road card basically says pick the new path, right? And I kind of feel like it's saying that there could be moments this year, 2026, this coming year, whenever you're watching this, and I think there are going to be some moments where it's like one path is comfortable and one path is new and uncomfortable just because you haven't learned it yet, whatever the path is. And I do feel this is encouraging you to always pick the new path, or always pick the opportunity for growth. Maybe that would be a better way to put it. Also in the very near future, you have the Queen of Swords. Yep, very good. This Mercury retrograde that we just had was one of great clarity, and it's ending on the day after actually this video is published. I'm recording this video on the last day of the retrograde, the 29th. So this will be, we will be having Mercury direct, and it just seemed to be a retrograde that brought a lot of answers in for people, and it makes sense that you might not get the answers immediately. They might be coming in over time, and so in the very near future, you could be getting a lot of answers on things that have been confusing, or things that you haven't known or didn't know like what to do. And yeah, I feel pretty good about the Queen of Swords. The other thing I get on the Queen of Swords is I feel like you're going to be feeling much more open in 2026. It's like you're much more kind of open to new ideas or something. And I feel like you've learned this over a long period of time. Next, in your outcome row, you have this Believe card. Here you go. It says, when you wholeheartedly embrace the attainability of your dreams, you will find the courage to exceed the ordinary. Literally what I said, basically, at the beginning of the reading. You have this Inner Work card. It says, don't be afraid to prioritize your personal growth and spiritual development. Again, Pluto square. Health and wellness are necessary to enjoy an abundant life. Again, I think Pluto is another planet that gets a bad rap in the astrology. Pluto can be very difficult to work with, but at the same time, if we do the work, we'll be fine. So, I would be working on things like your inner power and how you express power. I would also work on defending beliefs. It's like I wish I had some better words to say to you here, Taurus, if I'm being honest, because it's like I want to say defending beliefs against yourself, but that's not really what I'm getting. It's like you have certain beliefs, and it's like maybe you need to believe in those beliefs more, That's what I mean by defending yourself against yourself. It's like maybe there's a part of you that says, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. And, I feel like if you could do that, that's where your power will come from with the Pluto energy for sure. Next, in the area of the next few months, you have the Ten of Wands. I actually feel pretty good about this. Like, yeah, sure, maybe you're going to be pretty busy. I kind of feel like a lot of people are, because I kind of feel like December is going to be a month where we feel set free. So if you're watching this at the beginning of December 2025, which is when I'm publishing it before 2026, then December we could feel very free. December's a little bit sketchy of a month. I don't like the week of the 8th or whatever for the most part. There just like some weird things going on that week, so I don't know what we'll see happen, but pay attention, I would say. But other than that, what I would say is between now and like February, basically, the end of February, you could argue the beginning of March, I do feel a lot of people are feeling the pressures of 2025. What I mean by that is that I think a lot of us feel like we didn't get a lot done in 2025. So we could be working a little bit extra hard between now and February, March, somewhere around there, to get things done. It's kind of like we are maybe collectively realizing that we need to get to work. And so we're just putting the work in. Is this a bad thing? No. It's like, could you be a little bit burdened? Sure. But he's about to reach his home and, he's about to have a harvest. So really, I think if you're doing any extra work, it'll be worth it. You have the Page of Swords. Again, childlike energy. We kind of talked about this, and maybe that would be a good energy for you to be in the land of make-believe, and maybe you just need to play and be more playful and, kind of like imagine things. This is coming up in the area of your closest relationships. So, number one, if you do want love, there could be a connection coming in for you. This could say that a person has their eye on you already, and you might not even realize it. So if you're looking for love, pretty good. I feel like this is good for finding new people to surround yourself with as well. The Page of Swords is a little bit of a detective. So, going out, meeting people, feeling them out, kind of, figuring out if they can help you or not, and then going from there. I'm not suggesting that you are more standoffish or something like that when you meet new people. And I'm not just talking about love. I'm talking about every connection. But it's almost like you're just giving people time to marinate. It's like you're saying, I'm going to let this person develop. I'm going to let this person, kind of like, whatever. I'm going to see who they really are. I'm going to give it more time, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing at all. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Two of Cups. Again, definitely could be love if you want it. I also feel that you are feeling more in alignment. I always say Two of Cups is you and your higher self. This is the staff of Hermes, which is Mercury. And so I feel a lot of you could be like communicating more spiritually. Again, Neptune will be moving into Aries, but we've had Neptune and Pisces for a long time. So it's like we've learned all those lessons. We've done a lot of spiritual work with Neptune and Pisces. Now that it's leaving, I always say these major planets, when they leave, that's when we really put into practice what we learned. So, it doesn't surprise me that you would get a very spiritual card here because it's like you're putting into practice what you've already learned during Neptune and Pisces. So, again, makes a lot of sense. Your outcome is the Justice card, which is balance. I do feel good about this, but I'm pretty sure I recently said to you, Taurus, that I would be careful of being too balanced. And I don't mean this in a bad way or anything. What I mean is if things are just status quo, then you're not growing, right? It's almost like you need a little bit of out of balance energy to grow. And again, I don't mean this like you should be putting yourself in terrible situations or something like that, but it's like lifting weights, It's like if you lift the same amount of weight, your muscles pretty much aren't going to grow, right? And so you have to eventually lift more and more weight. And I'm sure some exercise nerd is going to tell me how that's not true. But bear with me. I'm broadcasting. I'm clearly look at my body, right? I am not an exercise expert, although I'm getting there. Muscles are definitely they're growing. It'll probably look better this way, Taurus. So there you go. Little bit of bait for you. But what I would say here is that again, it's like you have to lift a little bit heavier and heavier and heavier to grow. And I feel like that's what this card is encouraging. I get nothing about justice on the card. It's all about balance is what this is saying. So there you go. Thirst trap. That's the word that I'm looking for. Trust me, once I get the 6-pack, which is my goal before I hit 40, then I'll post some thirst traps for everybody, right? And I can talk about how I lifted heavier and heavier weights. With the Page of Cups and the Nine of Cups, you have the Justice card again. Exactly what I said. Don't be afraid of being out of balance. Sometimes I think out of balance situations are good as well. We have the Page of Cups here in love. I am not suggesting that you go and date the Joker from Batman, right? That's not what we're not talking about that out of balance. But sometimes I think we can meet a person who maybe pushes us a little bit outside of comfort zone, or in the sense that to be with them, maybe we feel like we have to grow, or maybe we feel like we have to be better. And again, if you're looking for love, that's definitely something I would think about. But I would think about this with everything. Again, if this might be like a little bit of a, I don't know what to call it, but not a milestone, but it's almost like you have a key, for a map, right, for your year. And I think if you look at things that are not growing, that is your key. It's like saying to you, yeah, this isn't growing because you need to push yourself a little bit. And in those moments, if you do that, you will grow. With the High Priestess, you have the Four Swords. Four Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering, and healing. And yeah, I think everybody at the end of the year, especially, needs a little bit of resting, relaxing, recovering, and healing. So I would take the time to do it. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Sun. Yes, this is what you really want, is the Ten of Pentacles. I'm really not getting any messages here. It's literally just saying to me, this is what you really want. The Sun is shining on the Ten of Pentacles. You probably have a vision of what building and leaving a legacy would be for you. And I feel the Sun is like, yeah, you can have it. All you have to do is start acting as if, and you will get it. Sure, we'll take both. With the Chariot, you have you had the Emperor, but the Six of Wands flipped over when I pulled the Emperor, so we'll take it. Six of Wands can be a victory or success. The Emperor is a bossing up, of course. Really good cards to get with the Chariot. Even though they're coming up in your past position, this could still say that you are taking control of your life and you are more focused on having victories, which is great. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Hermit card. Yeah, definitely I would be more bold, assertive, confident, put yourself out there more. Again, you have energy moving into your 12th house. I don't think it's bad, but, definitely with Saturn and Neptune there, 12th house is hidden, or what's kept hidden. And so sometimes I think in our astrology, when we have a lot of stuff in the 12th house, that we need to do things to shine more. You know what I mean? Because the opposite is happening. And we should definitely be working with 12th house energy, right? With Saturn and Neptune there, you could be becoming more disciplined spiritually. You could be solving problems that have been hidden from you for a long time. I think there will be a lot of benefits to that energy. But, at the same time, you can do the opposite. You can shine more. You can stand out more. And I would. With the Ten of Wands, you have the King of Wands. Like, creative solutions is popping into my head here. The Ten of Wands is, like I said, I don't feel it's bad in your reading at all. But the King of Wands has a gift of foresight. He can almost see the future. He's very innovative. He has innovative ideas. And I think that you should be using your creativity to come up with creative problem solving with the Ten of Wands. Like, something, if you're working really hard, that's fine. And I think it will be fine, until about March or so for you, because maybe you're feeling like you want to. But there could be easier ways that you could carry some of those weights, or there could be better ways that you could be dealing with some of the things that you're dealing with. And for whatever reason, I just feel the King of Wands is encouraging like creative problem solving or coming up with creative solutions to what you're doing, and also like allowing things to be easier. We also have the Sun, and the Sun is a card of ease, but we have to allow things to be easy. With the Page of Swords, here you go. You have the Queen of Wands. Could be a could be a very fiery connection here, Taurus, right here. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a very fiery, passionate connection. Could be a fire sign. I think you've been getting a fire sign with me for a while. Could be any sign, really. You have Leo, Virgo, Aries, obviously, Libra, Pisces showing up here. Cancer. Could be any sign. With the Two of Cups, you have the Fool. I think your higher self is pushing you to make a change, or is pushing you to kind of take a leap of faith. I feel this very subtle push in your reading. I was kind of talking about it with that Ten of Wands, where, I don't feel like you feel like you're running out of time. It's more like maybe you feel like you wish you did more in 2025. I feel like that's like the subtle push from your higher self with the Two of Cups. And again, I am not encouraging you to burn yourself out or anything like that, but I do think it is saying it's time to take a leap of faith. With the Justice card, you have the Ten of Cups, which is amazing. Fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, really good for love if you want it. But the Ten of Cups is, again, fortune after difficulty. And so like I was saying earlier, by pushing yourself a little bit to be a little bit off balance, putting yourself in those situations where you're just a little bit uncomfortable, I think will make all the difference in the world. And we're talking about this from a growth perspective. The other thing about this card is it represents your entire freaking reading. Those 10 cups exist above their heads. They need to bring those cups down to earth, right? And so, it's about bringing a dream down to earth. You have this inheritance card. You always get these cards of inheritance, and you have the Ten of Pentacles in this reading, which is an inheritance. So, obviously this is only for those of you that know you're going to get one. But I also feel that you could be inheriting an idea with the Two of Cups, like literally downloading it from the universe. So if you're getting any good ideas, it could, bring you an inheritance, but it's like, something that you're working on. Next, you have this protection card. I feel like you are protected at this time, and you need to believe that. So it's like, if you're thinking about taking a risk and you're worried, just know that you're protected. There's nothing to worry about. You have this detachment card. Yes, I would say maybe starting in like July of 2025, everybody started getting these cards that would really represent detachment or detaching from outcome. It seems to be something that's very important right now. I kind of feel like it's because of Pluto and Aquarius in a way. I'm not so sure that Pluto and Aquarius is causing it, but kind of. And, because Pluto and Aquarius, but we also have Uranus and Gemini, although Uranus is in your sign right now, but it will move into Gemini next year. I think they want us to be innovative and want us to, kind of like find the best way of doing things. So if you are too attached to an outcome, then you're going to think, I need to do this in this way. And you're going to be stuck. But if you say, I'm going to accomplish this in the best way, and I'll try new things, and you try new stuff, then you'll probably find a better way to accomplish your goals. Sure, we'll take both. You have this indecision card and this principles card. Yeah, really important that we make decisions based off of our principles at this time. Again, Neptune and Pisces is traditional belief. And yeah, Neptune will be leaving Pisces in January, but it doesn't really matter because, again, we've learned a lot of lessons with Neptune and Pisces. Again, I think we're going to see a lot of issues, for example, in the world with people who don't have principles or people who stick up for bad things, for example. So, it's really important that you do that. And the indecision card probably saying you actually do know what to do. It goes with your principles. So, like, follow your principles here. And finally, you have this bluff card. This card kind of says that you're kind of calling people's bluffs in a certain way, like that you're doing things that people didn't believe you could do, Taurus. So again, a lot of you have a great opportunity to level up at this time as well. But this looks really good, Taurus. I like it quite a bit. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your year.